In a damp 14th century dungeon, a guard slides a bowl of slop to a chained prisoner. Torchlight reveals the accused, a large, muddy pig. This animal was formally arrested and charged with murder. Before facing public execution, it was dressed in human clothing, a custom-fitted jacket, a pair of trousers, and white gloves. In courtrooms across medieval Europe, cows, dogs, and roosters were routinely assigned legal representation to face formal judicial proceedings. The meticulous record-keeping and strict adherence to protocol show a highly calculated system of legal theater designed to project an image of absolute human authority over the natural world. In 1522, the town of Autun, France, formally indicted its entire rat population for destroying the local grain supply. The court appointed a lawyer named Bartholomew de Chassenee to defend the rodents. He successfully argued that his clients could not safely answer the summons because the village's cats posed a mortal threat to them on the journey to court. The judge accepted this defense and suspended the case. Municipal records show that these trials drained town budgets. Communities paid extensive lawyer fees, compensated judges, and even funded specialized diets for the animals while they were held in prison. Curious, deliberate tone. Resource-strapped societies dedicated their finest legal minds and limited public funds to prosecute animals that had no understanding of the law. This suggests their legal system served a deeper purpose than simple punishment. This diagram illustrates the great chain of being, the rigid hierarchy governing the medieval world. It links creation from God down to the natural world. Animals occupied a subordinate position. An animal's crime was a spiritual disruption, requiring a legal ritual to repair divine order. Secular courts handled domestic animals, like horses and pigs. Because these creatures lived in proximity to humans, they were subject to physical retribution, often ending in public hanging or burning at the stake. Putting a domestic animal on trial provided the community a clear perpetrator after a traumatic event. The ritual allowed the village to reclaim a sense of agency and re-establish order in an environment that felt increasingly out of control. When swarms of locusts or weevils threatened a village with mass starvation, the cases moved to the ecclesiastical or church courts. The church deployed spiritual weapons against these uncatchable targets. Court officials read formal legal summons in the fields, and the bishop would eventually issue an official excommunication, cursing the pests from the land. Priests often issued these curses right before the seasonal arrival of cold weather. When the insects naturally died off, it appeared to the community as a direct result of the church's judicial intervention. These trials were psychologically effective. They provided a shield of legal and spiritual certainty against the terror of an uncontrollable natural environment. During the 18th century Age of Enlightenment, the philosopher Rene Descartes introduced a theory that animals lacked reason and were simply complex biological machines. Modern law requires mens rea, or guilty intent, to prove a crime. If an animal is viewed as a machine with gears, rather than a mind with intent, as this diagram suggests, a trial becomes logically impossible. While the medieval trials ended, stripping animals of their moral agency led to an era of truly horrific scientific cruelty. Because they were seen as unfeeling machines, animals were subjected to vivisection and experimentation without anesthesia. The medieval era granted animals a form of legal personhood and professional defense. This specific status was erased by the industrialization of nature that followed. Today, animals are treated as property. If an animal causes harm, it is usually euthanized immediately without a hearing or a lawyer. Modern activists are returning to the courtroom to argue for the legal personhood of intelligent species like chimpanzees and elephants. Humanity continues to use the law to negotiate our fear of the wild. While our legal definitions evolve, we are still seeking ways to control a world that exists outside of human logic. Our human laws will continue to change over time, but the wild nature of life eventually overrules all of these human structures.